So this week, starting off by getting the car serviced, which is a bit of an extra trek. So just picked up our car after the service, and while I was driving over here, a couple of things occurred to me. First of all, at the weekend, I switched our energy supplier. I know, exciting. But I didn't go for the cheapest one. I went for the one which was the greenest. And then yesterday and today, here I am driving an extra half an hour to go to this particular Kia garage, when actually at the end of our road there is an independent one. But in my head, I would rather go the extra distance and pay the extra money to get the specialist whose niche is our particular car, to look at our car and take care of it. And so I mention this because as a freelancer, I think a lot of us feel the pressure to perhaps deliver cheaply, like to deliver for the least amount of money that we can to our clients. But actually a lot of clients would pay more money if A, they like you and you align with their values, just like me and the energy company, or B, you are a specialist, you're a niche, you take care of things, and you're an expert in what you do. So yes, don't know if that's worth anything. I do know what I need to do though. Have a jelly baby, which I just found in the glove box whilst putting our service logbook back. Hurrah! Don't eat me! And nobody eats jelly babies without pretending they have voices, right? I'm not the only one. Been really piling through the work today. I'm managing to tick off loads of stuff from the Trello board as we head towards the project deadline for like one of the big projects at the end of August. So I'm really trying to get the animations and the infographics and everything really kicked off and ticked off. Also, I found I was getting really distracted by, I was managing a project where it was all about document creation, you know, like creating brochures and guides and things like that. And at first that was fine because we were nailing the design, but now we've done that, it's basically going back and forth between the designer and the client with just really fiddly alterations, and they come thick and fast. And I realised that it was just massively distracting me from getting what I need to get done. So I went to the client and said, you know, in order to hit this deadline, I really need to focus. And I don't think I'm needed in this thing, I'm needed in these things. And how about I just put you in touch with the document designer and you guys liaise between yourself and cut me out of it. And that is what is happening. And I feel much better for doing that. And another reason I feel good today is because at the weekend I spent extra time clearing 2 video projects which are outside of this. So I've got these 2 massive projects, but then I've got lots of little things, and I cleared a couple of those little things off my to-do list, which is good for the people who are waiting patiently for them, but also good for me. I hadn't realised how much those were weighing on my mind, the fact that I wasn't getting them done. So anyway, they're done now. I managed to edit this week's podcast ahead of time. I did the whole thing on the train there and on the way back because I wasn't remotely distracted by anything on my phone, so that was good. So I just got off a call with my new writer guy in France, and it reminded me of a conversation I had earlier in the week, which I was going to say to you about, was that
I was telling a friend about this project, and they were like, well, how do you know the guy in France is going to do a good job? Because that will fall on you if it doesn't. And I was like, well, I just have to trust him, because he came to me on a recommendation for a start, and that person who I implicitly trust wouldn't have recommended them if they didn't think they were good and suitable for the project. Secondly, I have found in finding lots of different people to work with on different things over the last couple of years that freelancers tend not to take on a project if they don't think they can do a good job. So I don't think he would take on this project if he didn't think he could do it. And in fact, I have approached quite a few writers and explained the project, and they turn it down because they say, oh, do you know what, I don't think I'm right for this. And some of them have then gone, but I do know person X, and recommended them. And I think that's key. As freelancers, we only have our reputation. That is the reason I trust this person. He doesn't have to take it on, but he is. This week, unlike pretty much any week, I actually had a day off, like a total day off. Sports day, Friday, basically just sat in the sun all day, clapping and cheering. And then took my wife to the airport because she is now off to Ibiza, so I've got the kids to myself for the next 4 days, which pretty much means that this weekend is going to be work free, apart from a little bit at night, I guess. But yeah, it's all good. I feel on top of things. I've made it to 3:30 on Saturday until I've done any work before I've switched it on, which is pretty good going. So I've just been hanging out with the kids, but our neighbours have got them at the moment. They're all playing in a paddling pool and on a trampoline and stuff, so I thought, well, I'd just take a moment to send out the newsletter. I couldn't not do a 100th episode newsletter type thing. That would be a wasted opportunity. I always think about the newsletter that I don't know whether to do like I do, which is like telling you what the new episode is and what the new vlog is and so on, and if I've read an interesting article linking you to that, or to write more of a contemplative piece, like maybe inspired by that week's guest. But I don't know whether switching it would put people off. It's certainly a lot quicker just to do what I do at the moment. This weekend has made me realise that obviously when my wife is around, there are pockets within Saturday and Sunday where I will do bits of work, where I'll sit down and she'll be playing computer games with them or take them for a walk or whatever. But when I'm on my own with them, obviously I can't do that. And so it was really nice to not feel remotely guilty about just sitting around, having a cup of tea and a chat, playing games and being silly with the kids in the garden. I didn't feel remotely guilty. Like when I'm here on a normal weekend, often I feel like there's things I should be doing. And today and yesterday I knew I couldn't, so that was kind of nice actually. There's just 2 weeks to go until the summer holidays.